It's time to turn your life-challenging moments into life-changing messages. Welcome to the Power Lift Stories podcast, where we are interviewing women whose stories will leave you lifted up, fired up, and fueled up with hope, courage, and inspiration. We want to thank our sponsor, Powerful Journey, who helps women tell their stories, write their books, and building a profitable brand around both. Join the Masterclass or the Speakers Academy at phyllisjenkins.com. That is PHYLLISJENKINS.com. Now here's your host, Phyllis Jenkins.
Hello, welcome back, and we are super excited again to have another one of our authors who is being interviewed in front of our live audience, our Writer's Journey community. And let me just say to you that if you have thought about writing your book and you want to jump into the Writer's Journey for a trial, we have a 14-day free trial going on right now, and you can jump in for 14 days, experience community, and to see what it's like. But right now, we are going to move right into our interview with our guest today, Edna Roberts. Welcome, Edna.
Thank you so much, Phyllis Jenkins. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, we are excited to have you. And I am going to hold up Edna's book here. You see her beautiful picture on there. And the title of her book is Bout That Lemonade Life. And she is wearing a shirt to prove it. So her subtitle is Turning a Sour Life into a Sweet Life. And anybody who knows Edna knows that she will turn any sour, any lemons into lemonade in a minute. So, Edna, I'm going to share a little about you, and then we're going to jump right in. And I'm actually going to read your intro from the back of your book. I've known Edna for a while, but I'm going to give you the info that's on her book. It's Edna Roberts is a robust, fiery, joyful, motivational speaker whose heart's desire is to see women live in their purpose. Edna believes that sometimes it takes obstacles to push you into the realm of really living and living on purpose. There is not a stranger that Edna has met because her heart is full of compassion for people, and her smile is as big as Texas. Edna lives in McKinney, Texas with her husband. They have 3 beautiful girls and a handsome young man who makes her life. Well, let's just say there is never a dull moment in her life when that young man is her grandson. He is the apple of her eye, and she does have her heartstrings are wrapped around his little fingers. Any of us who are grandparents can relate to this as well. Edna, again, welcome. And I want to just ask you, what is the why behind writing Bout That Lemonade Life?
Okay, Phyllis, just one thing I want to correct or add to is that was my son. I have an older son. The apple of my eye is the grandson, but the one that I say, it could be a little extra. That's my son's son.
Okay.
So
okay.
3 girls, a boy, and a grandson.
Okay. Thank you for that correction.
And now, Phyllis, the why, I'm so glad you asked about why I would write this book. When I was young, I used to read all the time. I read books. I only read. I didn't look at it. TV was black and white, wasn't anything on. So I would just read all the time. And I thought one day when I get older, I'm going to write a book, but forgot all about it. And then the older I got, then things happened in life. And as I went through the course of life, I met you. And you were talking about putting your life down on a piece of paper, writing it down and looking at it. I felt like it would make me immortal almost. I guess I'd be around for the rest of my life and then come, right? So I thought there's something I have to say to women. I see so much depression and so negativity sometimes. And one of the things I do is I always look at things like the glass is half full for me. It's not half empty. And I had to teach myself that. I had to teach myself that things will get better. Why can't I think things are better before I think of them worse? Because the first thing you think about is the thing you're going to meditate on the rest of the day, right? So I said, I've got to tell people, I've got to encourage women. I've got to let them know that it's not that bad. It could be worse, but it can get better. And what we can do to change our mindset is to change those lemons into lemonade. So I started my journey with you, Phyllis, and it was an amazing journey. The speaker's platform was amazing. I enjoyed telling my story. I enjoyed just interjecting with women and just getting to know what's going on in their lives and hearing their stories. But more than anything, I wanted to encourage. We have to have all kinds of people in this world. And I am an encourager. So I want to just encourage women all the time, women, men, boys, girls, all of them.
Love that. And yes, you are indeed an encourager. You are a natural encourager. So Edna, I recall back when we were in class, y'all, we used to meet in person back when Edna was in class. We were in class, and Edna received either a text or a phone call that I believe was it your kitchen that was on fire?
My house was on fire.
Her house was on fire. I want y'all to know that most of us would have said, bye-bye, I'm going get it checked out. Edna, what did you do?
I said, well, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. I came back to class, and I asked Pastor Dave to pray, and he prayed, and we went on back to class. Because I felt like there's nothing I can do. Hey, it's going to be okay. I need to finish what I started. I can't deter from this. I just knew that it was going to be okay. It was going to be okay somehow, some way.
And we were all sitting there looking like, okay.
You're not going home? I'm like, no, I'm not going home. There's nothing I can do. I'm just going to stay. I just felt that everything was going to be okay because my mindset had shifted so much to where I just believed I'm going to believe the right thing before the bad thing. I'm going to believe the good thing before the bad thing, so.
And that is why her book is titled Bout That Lemonade Life. She is amazing. She lives what she has put on these pages. And we're so grateful to God for that. Edna, as you have moved throughout life and seeing different struggles, how have you seen God work throughout your life?
I have seen God work the easy way or the hard way. When I say the hard way, that's when I'm not paying attention and it just sneaks up on me and I go, oh yeah, that was God. The easy way is when I'm watching him through the whole process, right? So I have seen God from growing up to being I'm just going to tell y'all, the only Black girl, the only Black female in a high school all my life. From the time I went to school to the time I graduated, I had all kinds of opportunities. I'm going to tell you, it could have been a bad thing. I don't have any people that look like me. Life is so humdrum. I made the best of everything. I went out for cheerleader. I went out for drill mascot. I played the drums in the band. I played basketball. I started. I lettered. Because I was just determined to look at the top side of everything. I believe that God gave me two legs, and if I have two legs, it's something I can do. I might not run fast, but I can probably jump. I might not can shoot a basketball, but I can steal it real quick. I can find something to do. You can always look at the brighter side. What can you do? And I can always smile through something. I can always talk to people and encourage them. And I even encourage myself a lot every morning, getting up and looking in the mirror. Girl, you got this. You bad, girl. Look at that makeup. Ooh, that stuff is worth it. Braid that hair. Girl, you looking so good. if you talk to yourself, it might sound silly. Let me tell you something, your spirit will hear it, and it will motivate you and it will encourage you.
I love that, because so many times, especially as women, it's easy to talk the negative talk, self-talk, but I love how you encourage yourself. And that certainly is what we can do. It starts with us. So
Yes, it does.
absolutely love that. Well, I've shown them your book several times. Would you just give a summary of the book and then let our listeners know how they can obtain the book?
Okay, so the book is basically talking about just a few incidences in my life that things happened, the fire being one of them. And there are pictures in the book to show you what happened to my house in the fire. I won't tell you a lot of it because you'll have to buy the book, because if I tell you, then you'll already know. So I need you to get your own opinion. I need you to get your own idea, your own, whatever you get from the book. But it's just talking about that, basically how we went through transitioning to a place to stay and how quickly it happened and how God moved us into some really good housing. He gave us, let me pick my furniture. I mean, things happened so good. And my attitude never changed. I wasn't concerned because I knew there are people worse off than me. I had nothing to be sad about. All I had to do is just continue to encourage myself. And do you know that sometimes when bad things happen or you think they're bad things, watch what comes out of those bad things. You'll be like, well, that wouldn't have happened if this hadn't happened. Wow. So that's how you can see sometimes good things can come out of bad things, but look for it. Look for the good thing. Like squeeze that lemon. You got to squeeze it sometimes to get that juice out of there. So you got to look for that good stuff. So that's basically what the book is about, and just talking about how we were victorious over that, the things that happened that got me to the place that I am, to the residence that I'm at in McKinney, that led me to there from working where I was working. How the doors just opened, the place I work just shut down. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, hold up. I have 2 children. I'm a single mom. What in the world? But you know what? I said, you know what? It's got to be something out there for me. And in the book, what we talk about, sometimes life has to give you something to push you. Oh, that pushed me out of my comfort zone. And as a result, I'm doing amazing things now. I mean, it's amazing. I'm not afraid anymore to step out. But that once you get past that initial fear, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you but you.
I love that. Nothing can stop you but you. And so if you're not walking around with expectancy of positive things happening, turning those lemons into lemonade, then you're walking in the wrong steps, the wrong direction. We
Absolutely.
should definitely be expecting God to turn things around for His
Absolutely.
glory and for our good. Love that. Before I have you to let them know how they can get your book, let me just set the stage for our very last question. All right. Edna, you stood on stage, and you did, at the Powerful Journey Women's Conference. You shared a wonderful message. You had the audience laughing. You had the audience agreeing with you. And when you finished, you had a standing ovation, a standing ovation. But now the conference has ended. The women have walked away to go to their vehicles, and you are ready to pack up everything and go back to your vehicle. What are 3 things, Edna, you hope every woman walked away with?
I hope that one of the things they walked away with is that I can do anything. I can do anything I set my mind to. I just have to set my mind to it and go for it. That's the first thing I want them to walk away with. The second thing I want them to walk away with is that always remember that your journey is your journey. You don't have to compare it to mine. I started comparing myself to other ladies' stories, and I was like, that's not my story. And why am I getting upset? Because that's not my story. I mean, my story is still a good story, and it's going to bless somebody just like everybody else's does. So I always realize that your story is your story. And it's very, very, very important that you get your story out, because it's going to help somebody. And then the third thing I want you to know is that Writing a book is fun. It is so much fun. Just you can put all your ideas down, you can move them around, and when you go to the classes with Phyllis Jenkins, and she's going to help you. Like I told her, I had ideas and they were going all like this. I had a billion ideas up here, and she taught me how to funnel it down and bring it down to where it would be where I could control it a little bit better. So ladies, write those ideas down. Don't give up. Don't quit. Because if it's in your heart, if it's burning in here, if you feel like I just got to do something, you got to do it. It's a word. It's a word from God. He's telling you to do it. He's telling you to do it.
Love that, Edna. And how can our audience purchase your book and connect with you?
Okay, so on the book, you can go on Amazon. If you go on Amazon, I'm so excited. My grandson is 10 and he Googles me all the time. Nana, you're on Amazon. So you can, and I love that. And you'll love that too, ladies. So you can go on Amazon and you can purchase the book. It does have my phone number on there, but my email address is eroberts003@gmail.com, and you can email me and I can give you further information if there's anything you want to talk to me about, doing any type of speaking for you. That will be fine. You can get me at that email, and I can send you any information that you need, and we can touch bases that way. But again, I say you can go on Amazon and you can get the book.
Wonderful. And Edna is a wonderful motivational speaker. So please, if you are needing a speaker for your women's groups, your book club, your whatever, we'll have all of the information to connect with her in the show notes. We will have how to purchase her book in the show notes as well. Edna, thank you again for being here. And let me just say, happy retirement to you. I know that
yes. And that's another one of my lemonades,
You recently retired,
right.
And now you have time to write book number 2. And we look forward to hearing that book number 2. Thank you again for being here. And for those of you who have joined us via YouTube or Facebook, we want to say thank you for being here. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so and hit the notification so that you don't miss any of our episodes, and save the date. The annual Powerful Journey Women's Conference is April 20th, 2024. And you'll be able to register in person or virtually. So continue to look and receive that information. If you haven't signed up for my newsletter, please do so. You can go to phyllisjenkins.com. That's PHYLLIS Jenkins.com. Sign up for the newsletter and you won't miss any of our events. And we send out some pretty good content each week. Edna, thank you again for being here. Thank everyone. We will see you back next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Phyllis. It's my pleasure. Bye-bye.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us today. If you are interested in being on the show, go to phyllisjenkins.com. You can also sign up for the Powerful Journey Masterclass or the Speakers Academy at phyllisjenkins.com.